Long before collectors began searching through rolls of pennies for valuable varieties, the Lincoln cent was already one of the most familiar coins in America. During the mid-1970s, pennies passed through millions of hands every day. They were used in grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and vending machines across the country. Most people thought nothing of them. Yet among the billions of cents produced in 1976, a small number left the mint with unusual production errors that would later become highly desirable collectibles. The first coin in this video is the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent error penny, a fascinating coin that can reach values between $48,500 and $122,750 depending on the type of minting error, rarity, and overall condition. At first glance, a 1976 penny appears ordinary. It carries the same familiar design that Americans had seen for decades. However, experienced collectors know that even a common-looking cent can become a valuable treasure when a mistake occurs during the minting process. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln. The coin marked a historic moment because it was the first regularly circulating American coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. By 1976, Lincoln had appeared on the cent for 67 years, and his portrait remained one of the most recognized images in American coinage. The obverse of the 1976 penny features Lincoln's profile facing right. Alongside the portrait are the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1976. The reverse displays the famous Lincoln Memorial, which had appeared on the cent since 1959. Surrounding the memorial are the inscriptions "United States of America, 1 cent," and "E pluribus unum." The coin was manufactured by the United States Mint using high-speed production equipment designed to strike millions of coins efficiently. Even with strict quality control procedures, mistakes occasionally slipped through the system. A standard 1976 Lincoln cent weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Unlike modern cents, which are primarily made of zinc, the 1976 penny was composed mainly of copper. This composition gives the coin a distinctive appearance and has made older Lincoln cents especially popular among collectors. Many collectors begin examining coins by checking their weight, color, and overall appearance. Sometimes a valuable error coin can be identified simply because it looks different from a normal example. The minting process begins with blank metal discs called planchets. These blanks travel through automated machinery before entering powerful coining presses. Inside the press, steel dies strike the planchet with tremendous force, transferring the design onto both sides of the coin. Although the process is highly efficient, even a brief malfunction can create a rare and collectible error. One of the most dramatic errors found on Lincoln cents is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet is not positioned correctly inside the striking chamber. As the dies come together, only part of the design is transferred onto the coin. The result is a penny with a blank crescent-shaped area and an incomplete image. Collectors especially value off-center examples when the date remains visible because the coin can still be identified while displaying a significant minting error. Another highly desirable variety is the doubled die error. Unlike mistakes that occur during the strike itself, doubled dies originate during the creation of the die. If the die receives an improper impression during manufacturing, portions of the design may appear doubled on every coin struck from that die. Collectors carefully inspect the date, lettering, and Lincoln's portrait looking for evidence of separation or duplication. Under magnification, doubled letters and numbers can often be seen more clearly. Die cracks represent another fascinating category of mint errors. Coining dies endure tremendous pressure while striking thousands upon thousands of coins. Over time, tiny fractures can develop within the steel. When metal flows into these fractures during striking, raised lines appear on the finished coin. Some die cracks are small and subtle. Others stretch dramatically across large portions of the design. Collectors often appreciate these errors because they reveal the physical wear experienced by the minting equipment. Another popular error among collectors is the grease strike. Sometimes grease, oil, or debris becomes trapped inside portions of the die. When this happens, certain details fail to transfer properly onto the coin. Letters may appear weak, parts of the design may look faded, and some elements may be completely missing. Strong grease strike examples are often sought after because of their unusual appearance. Clipped planchet errors are also highly collectible. Before striking takes place, planchets are punched from large sheets of metal. If the punching process overlaps incorrectly, part of the blank may already be missing before it reaches the press. The finished penny displays a curved missing section along its edge. Because the clip exists before the design is struck, the appearance is distinctive and easy for experienced collectors to recognize. Broad strike errors are another possibility. Normally, a retaining collar surrounds the planchet during striking and helps create the coin's rim. If the collar fails or is absent, the metal expands outward beyond normal dimensions. The resulting penny appears wider than a standard example and often lacks a properly formed rim. Collectors find these errors fascinating because they dramatically alter the coin's appearance. Wrong planchet errors rank among the rarest discoveries. These occur when a cent design is accidentally struck onto a blank intended for another denomination. The finished coin may display unusual weight, thickness, diameter, or color. Because multiple production mistakes must occur for this error to happen, wrong planchet strikes are considered exceptionally scarce. Collectors often regard them as some of the most exciting finds in the hobby. Condition plays a major role in determining value. Most 1976 pennies circulated heavily for many years. As a result, scratches, contact marks, discoloration, and wear are common. However, coins preserved in exceptional condition with strong original luster and sharp details attract much greater collector interest. When a rare mint error is combined with outstanding preservation, values can increase significantly. Professional grading services help authenticate coins and verify whether an error occurred during production. Experts examine each coin carefully under magnification, identify the specific minting mistake, and assign a numerical grade based on condition. Certified examples often command stronger prices because collectors trust professional evaluations. Over the years, certain 1976 Lincoln penny error coins have achieved impressive values. Depending on rarity, eye appeal, and condition, some examples have reached between $48,500 and $122,750. For many people, it seems unbelievable that a coin originally worth only 1 cent could later become worth thousands of dollars. Yet collectors are not paying for the penny's face value. They are paying for rarity, history, and the uniqueness of a production mistake that escaped quality control. That possibility continues to inspire collectors to search through old coin collections, inherited albums, bankrolls, and jars of loose change. Many valuable discoveries have been made by ordinary people who simply decided to take a closer look at their coins. A small detail such as doubling, a clipped edge, a die crack, an off-center strike, or an unusual weight can completely transform a coin's value. The 1976 Lincoln cent proves that even an everyday coin can become an extraordinary collectible when minting errors occur. What once circulated through cash registers and pockets during America's bicentennial year may now represent a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So the next time you come across a 1976 Lincoln penny, examine it carefully. One seemingly ordinary cent could secretly be a rare mint error waiting to be discovered. As the 20th century was coming to an end, billions of coins were circulating across the United States every day. Most people spent them without giving them a second thought. Pennies were often tossed into jars, dropped into pockets, or forgotten in drawers. Yet among the countless Lincoln cents produced in 1999, a small number emerged from the mint with unusual production mistakes that would later capture the attention of collectors and error coin specialists. The second coin in this video is the 1999 D Lincoln 1 cent error penny, a collectible that can reach values between $34,250 and $101,450 depending on the type of error, rarity, and overall condition. At first glance, the 1999 D penny appears completely ordinary. It looks similar to millions of other Lincoln cents produced during the same period. However, experienced collectors know that some of the most valuable coins begin as ordinary pocket change before a hidden minting mistake transforms them into something special. The Lincoln cent has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909, when it was introduced to honor Abraham Lincoln. The coin became the first regularly circulating United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. Nearly 90 years later, Lincoln's image remained one of the most recognizable designs in American currency. The obverse of the 1999 D penny displays Lincoln's portrait facing right. Surrounding the image are the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1999. Beneath the date appears the small d mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse features the familiar Lincoln Memorial design that appeared on Lincoln cents from 1959 through 2008. Around the memorial are the inscriptions "United States of America," 1 cent, and "E Pluribus Unum." The coin was produced by the United States Mint using modern high-speed coining equipment capable of manufacturing thousands of coins per minute. Although quality control procedures were carefully maintained, occasional mistakes still managed to escape into circulation. A standard 1999 D Lincoln cent weighs approximately 2.50 grams and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Unlike older copper cents, the 1999 penny consists primarily of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. Collectors often begin examining potential error coins by checking their weight, dimensions, and overall appearance. Even a slight difference from normal specifications can indicate something unusual. The minting process begins with blank metal discs known as planchets. These blanks travel through automated machinery before entering powerful presses equipped with hardened steel dies. When the dies strike the planchet under immense pressure, the design is transferred onto both sides of the coin. The process is incredibly fast and efficient. However, if anything goes wrong during those brief moments, a collectible mint error can be created. One of the most dramatic errors associated with Lincoln cents is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet is not properly aligned inside the coining chamber. As the dies come together, only part of the design is impressed onto the blank. The result is a coin with a blank crescent-shaped area and an incomplete image. Collectors especially value off-center examples when the date and mint mark remain visible because the coin can still be identified while displaying a substantial minting error. Another highly collectible variety is the doubled die error. Unlike many mint mistakes that occur during striking, doubled dies originate during the creation of the die itself. If the die receives a misaligned impression during manufacturing, portions of the design may appear doubled on every coin struck from that die. Collectors closely inspect Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the lettering, searching for evidence of separation or duplication. Under magnification, doubled features often become much easier to identify. Die cracks represent another fascinating category of mint errors. Coining dies endure tremendous stress while striking thousands upon thousands of planchets. Over time, tiny fractures may develop within the steel. When metal flows into these cracks during striking, raised lines appear on the finished coin. Some die cracks are barely noticeable. Others stretch dramatically across major portions of the design. Collectors often appreciate these errors because they provide insight into the working life of the dies used during production. Another popular error is the grease strike, sometimes known as a filled die error. This occurs when grease, oil, or debris accumulates within portions of the die. When the coin is struck, certain details fail to transfer properly onto the surface. Letters may appear weak, portions of Lincoln's portrait may seem faded, and some design elements may be partially missing. Strong examples of grease strikes can attract considerable interest among collectors. Clipped planchet errors are also highly sought after. Before striking occurs, planchets are punched from large sheets of metal. If the punching process overlaps incorrectly, part of the blank may already be missing before it enters the coining press. The finished coin then displays a curved missing section along its edge. Because the error exists before striking, the design follows the unusual shape of the clipped planchet. Broad strike errors offer another fascinating possibility. Normally, a retaining collar surrounds the planchet during striking and helps create the coin's rim. If the collar fails or is absent, the metal expands outward beyond its normal dimensions. The resulting penny appears wider than standard examples and often lacks a properly formed edge. Collectors find these errors especially interesting because they dramatically alter the appearance of the coin. Wrong planchet errors rank among the rarest and most valuable mint mistakes. These occur when a Lincoln cent design is accidentally struck onto a blank intended for another denomination. The resulting coin may display unusual weight, color, thickness, or diameter. Because multiple production errors must occur simultaneously, wrong planchet strikes are considered exceptionally scarce. Collectors often view them as some of the most exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting. Condition plays a major role in determining value. Most 1999 D pennies circulated heavily and accumulated wear through everyday use. Scratches, contact marks, discoloration, and surface damage are common. However, coins preserved in exceptional condition with strong original mint luster and sharp details attract much stronger collector demand. When a rare mint error is combined with outstanding preservation, values can rise significantly. Professional grading services help authenticate these coins and verify whether an error occurred during production. Experts carefully examine each coin under magnification, identify the specific error, and assign a numerical grade based on condition. Certified examples often command stronger prices because collectors trust professional evaluations. Over the years, certain 1999 D Lincoln penny error coins have achieved impressive results in the collector market. Depending on rarity, visual appeal, and condition, examples have reached values between $34,250 and $101,450. For many people, it seems difficult to imagine that a coin worth only 1 cent could eventually sell for thousands of dollars. Yet collectors are not paying for the penny's spending power. They are paying for rarity, historical significance, and the uniqueness of a minting mistake that escaped quality control inspections. That possibility continues to inspire collectors to search through old jars of change, inherited collections, and bankrolls. Many valuable discoveries have been made by ordinary individuals who simply took the time to inspect their coins more carefully. A small clue such as doubling, a clipped edge, a die crack, an off-center strike, or unusual weight can completely transform a coin's value. The 1999 D Lincoln cent proves that even modern pocket change can become an extraordinary collectible when minting errors occur. What once circulated through stores, restaurants, and everyday transactions may now represent a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So the next time you come across a 1999 D Lincoln penny, examine it closely. One seemingly ordinary cent could secretly be a rare mint error waiting to be discovered.